Time to get some cows before a big leg day. We're gonna put this to good use. Good morning, YouTube. Back with another cup of coffee. All right, so this high intensity, low frequency training is continuing. Last night was a good session overall. I'm pleased with the work. My squat has I have so much to work on in the squat. That is by far my weakest movement. And I'll talk about that in a sec. We'll talk about analyzing my squat and just the squat in general in this video. But just to sum up the workout, I did 3 sets of 2 back squats at 540 pounds, and then I worked up to a yoke walk at 825 pounds. The walk was probably I don't know, 40 feet or something like that. So that's pretty good. 825 pounds felt good. Obviously I wasn't moving that fast, but it felt good because I haven't done those in a while. So to be moving that weight untrained is a good sign of just my overall strength improvements. So yeah. So let's talk about the squat. And I guess one other thing I'll add is I'm definitely tired today. This, like I said, this high intensity, low frequency training, yesterday's session, it wasn't a lot of volume, but the weights were heavy. And my nervous system is tired today. I'm tired. And you also I tend to personally, and I think it probably goes for a lot of people think when you work out, you sleep better, which is true when the workouts are of a certain caliber, but when they're very intense and heavy, I generally sleep worse because my heart rate and everything is my nervous system's so elevated and it takes a while to come down, and I tend to train a little bit later in the day. I tend to do better training, around 4 o'clock, and sometimes my sessions go on for a while. So yeah, it's just it feels like I can't unwind until midnight-ish to fall asleep. So, and then I also still tend to wake up a little frequently, just because my heart rate's higher, everything's just more elevated. It's harder to get that deep rest. So I know tonight I will sleep better because today's a rest day, of course. So when you're doing taxing sessions, it's so important to rest. And you only get stronger and better and bigger and more muscular from what you recover from. I'll probably say that 1,000 times. So yeah, I gotta eat a lot today, just rest and let all that fatigue just kind of dissipate, because I'm compounding fatigue as I'm going through this. I always have to keep that in the back of my mind. These sessions that I'm doing take longer than 2 to 3 days to truly recover from, but I'm training again after 2 to 3 days. So the fatigue builds and builds as your strength builds and builds. And it's just something you have to balance and mitigate and be in touch with. yeah, and fatigue manifests in all sorts of ways, like from bad sleep to irritability. Like your mood has a lot to do with like the state of your nervous system, in my opinion. So, yeah, and also obviously the joints. Training heavy, it's tough on the joints, more than so that it is on the musculature. Like your musculature is probably the thing that recovers the easiest for sure. Like I'm not even that sore. Like it's more. I mean, I am pretty sore. I won't lie. I'm sore. My back is toasted, but like my body will bounce back quicker than like the nervous system and like the fatigue does, and also your joints don't recover as fast as your muscles. So, all right, enough ranting about that. Let's just keep this video short and sweet. Let's just talk about the squat. So my squat, so much to work on. I definitely wasn't really hitting full like below parallel depth, but I'm okay with that. So I'm learning to. First of all, let's just talk about the back squat in general before I talk about my squat. The back squat, like people think it's just one movement, but the back squat literally has so many variations, and just subtle changes make it like a totally different movement in a way. Let's just talk about the two. There's so many variations. It's not just high bar and low bar. Like there's different techniques within each of those, but just in general, the high bar back squat is more quad dominant, and like it's much more straight up and down, and it's usually a faster, more explosive movement. And then the low bar back squat, you move the bar farther down your back. You're usually widening your stance and sitting more back, and it becomes more of a hip dominant and back dominant movement. However, this requires more hip mobility, whereas the high bar back squat, you have a narrower stance, and it's requires more knees over toes, more ankle flexibility. And for me, like when you are lifting, like when you're trying to get stronger, there's more that goes into it than just like I want to get stronger. In terms of like I need to lift heavy weights, like you have to be thinking also, aside from lifting the heavy weights frequently, you must think about how you're lifting these weights and what technique is optimal for your body type. So that's one of the main things, is like you have to always consider what's optimal and best for you, and what's best for you is not best for someone else. And I know for me, I will be better at the low bar back squat with a wider stance, like because of how I'm built. I have a short torso, I have long femurs, so I have a tough, like the high bar back squat has always been tough for me because my body just isn't built for it anthropometrically. So for me, what I've been given, like it's more advantageous for me to do a low bar back squat and rely on my hip and my back strength, and that's also because my back is like my personal strongest point. My quads are one of my weakest. Like my biggest limiting factor in my squat is my leg strength. My back can support the weight and has ample room to go up in supporting. So I have great stability in my squat, but it's not fast and explosive because I need to work on my legs. So, and also in general, the wider you get, the slower the squat becomes too. So yeah, it's just something I'm working on, and my hips have to get more mobile to hit full below depth. Like it's just such a technique thing I need to work on and get comfortable with, because I'm coming from doing CrossFit and Olympic style lifting. I was always doing high bar squats for like a while now with a narrower stance, and so widening the stance and stuff, it's just a new movement. It's focusing. It's more of a posterior movement than it is like a quad movement. So yeah, those are just my thoughts on the squat. I have so much to improve in the squat, and for anyone out there trying to get stronger, you always have to be considering your technique and what's best for you. And the squat is just one of those things where it, like, subtle changes for everyone is like, some people low bar with a narrower stance, some people low bar with wide stance. Like, just if you just go watch a bunch of different powerlifters, everyone, you can see like everyone lifts very differently. So it's just, yeah, it's exciting to know I have so much like to improve on in the squat. And yeah, I'm having fun doing it. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna rest. It's spring has sprung here. I'm gonna bring my son to the park later and chill. I'm pretty beat from that session, obviously. So yeah, I might do the next time I work out will either be tomorrow or the day after. It'll most likely just be upper body. So I'll catch you guys for that.